Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I haven't been over here for an entire week. We've been in Las Vegas, Nevada, celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary and 13 years of us being together. If you want to see a little question and answer video that we did, Alex and I did an entire, I think it's like 53-minute question and answer that we posted yesterday. I just went and got the dogs. Boo Radley is back here and he is scratching his way into his little bed that he's making behind me. So I'm very excited to be sitting back in this chair again and making videos. I missed making Peterisms videos over here, so I'm really excited about this. I bought the Melody Beatty ones with me, so I'm gonna get right into this and read the Melody Beatty books. Let's see, August 30th. See what the language of letting go has to say to us today. Did you guys miss these? I missed these so much. Okay, August 30th. Okay, accepting our best. We don't have to do it any better than we can, ever. Do our best for the moment, then let it go. If we have to redo it, we can do our best in another moment later. We can never do more or better than we are able to at the moment. We punish ourselves and make ourselves feel crazy by expecting more than our reasonable best for now. Striving for excellence is a positive quality. Striving for perfection is self-defeating. Did someone tell us or expect us to do or give or be more? Did someone always withhold approval? There comes a time when we feel we have done our best. When that time comes, let it go. There are days when our best is less than we hoped for. Let those times go too. Start over tomorrow. Work things through until our best becomes better. There is a time for constructive criticism, but if that's all we give ourselves, we'll give up. Empowering and complimenting ourselves will not make us lazy. It will nurture us and enable us to give, do, and be our best. Today I will do my best, then let it go. God, help me stop criticizing myself so I can start appreciating how far I've come. Boo Radley is back here going crazy, aren't you, bud? What a great meditation. And, you know, it makes me really, really grateful for the parents that I had while I was growing up and the friends of our family that were so supportive of me, my parents' friends and my aunt and uncle and my dad's side of the family. And, you know, I grew up in an environment where trying your best was typically good enough, if not more, you know? And, I mean, there were occasions in there where I felt like my parents were critical of me. Definitely more my mom than my dad. You know, my mom was, I would come downstairs sometimes and have some, you know, crazy hair color. I can remember the one time that stands out to me the most is when I had colored my hair in high school and it was like pitch black. And she looked at me and she goes, you're not going to go to school like that, are you? And to this day, like, I can still remember the feeling inside, you know, that, I don't know, like, it wasn't good enough or whatever, you know? And especially because my mom was somebody that, like, she loved how different and individual my friends were. And I remember a conversation that I had with her one time, and I'd say, you know, Mom, my friends, like, they have, like, one half of their head shaved, or they, you know, mohawks, or they color their hair some crazy color, or they wear all these crazy clothes, and you're, like, so supportive of them, and you think it's so cool, you know? And she would sit on the front porch and talk to them while I was getting ready or whatever, you know? And she would say, Peter, I'm your mom, right? Like, those are your friends. And she said, I'm really, really protective of you. Like, I don't want you to be made fun of. Like, little did she know I was being made fun of for things that I couldn't even control anyway, like hair and clothes and all that kind of stuff. Those are ways that we express ourselves, you know? But, like, the things that I was being made fun of at my core were things I really couldn't change about myself anyway. And it was interesting because years later, you know, well, not too many years later after that, but when I came out to my mom, and I think it was like, I was around 30 when I told my mom that I was like ruthlessly bullied in high school and, well, not just high school, but growing up. And my mom said to me, she goes, who were they? Who were their, because I'm going to call their parents. And I said, Mom, I'm 30. Like, you don't need to call their parents, you know? And she was like, I just don't understand why anybody would do that. And up to the day that my mom died, my mom would be like, I just don't know how people know that you're gay. And I'm like, based on stereotypes, Mom, it's not a kitchen secret. But anyway, she just, you know, she saw what she wanted to see. But, like, my parents, as far as, like, especially, like, I don't talk about this a lot, But I grew up training to play professional tennis, and I had coaches, and I was in leagues, I mean, from a very, very young age, and I went to camps all summer long, and I mean, through the school year, I played tennis like almost every single day after school for hours. And, you know, I played competitively for a very, very long time. And I don't remember ever like my parents getting upset with me if I lost a match or whatever. You know, they would just always be like, you know, you did your best. And, you know, they would ask me, and if I did my best. There was one situation though where I threw my racket, and my dad was like, at this point I was playing for the high school team, and my dad said, go fault the game. And I said, what? And he goes, you're not going to be a bad sportsman. Go fault that we don't throw rackets. And those were the kind of things that my parents taught me, and I'm very, very grateful for that, you know. Years ago, I had a friend of mine, and, or maybe I was reading this in a book. Somebody told me this story, I can't remember, but it was about, like, a teacher that had, either a friend of mine told me this, or I read it in a book, I can't remember. But it was about, this teacher that had, like, I feel like it was a friend of mine that did this. Anyway, that had, like... Your memory goes as you get older, you know? But, like, they had, like, on the desk, like, gold stars, red stars, yellow stars, or gold stars, red stars, green stars, and blue stars. And, like, based on how well the student thought they did was what star they picked, right? Like, gold star didn't mean any better. Maybe they just liked red stars, you know? And so the teacher would say, well, what star do you think that you deserve, you know? And I loved that concept of that, you know? I can remember, like... Every report card that I ever got growing up was always like, you know, satisfactories or whatever, S minuses. Do you remember those? Like satisfactory minus. But, you know, it'd always be like critical of me like talking in class. And I thought, you know, I look back on that now and it's like, I always just had like one person that I felt comfortable in class with talking to, and that would be, you know, like I never really had friends in high school. And I look back and think, God, it's crazy that I got in trouble for talking in class, you know, and, so I just had, you know, I was so supported by parents that believed that what I did was my very best and encouraged me to do anything. If I wanted to write a book, if I wanted to do a puppet show, if I wanted to do this, you know, they were so encouraging of that. And I feel very blessed about that because I have so many friends of mine that did not grow up in that environment. In fact, nothing that they did was good enough, you know, and that they could study and study and study and get A minuses, and, you know, their parents would say, well, you could have got an A plus. And that was not the case with me. Sometimes it was. There were like small incidents where that was the case, but that wasn't the overwhelming theme, you know? And it's interesting because on the other side of that, and I never witnessed this from my aunt. My aunt was never like that towards me, but of my cousin, she was pretty critical. And I remember that was like one of the things that my cousin would say to me, you know, is that she's always just really critical of me. And I never saw that because she wasn't of me, like I could do no wrong, you know? And so I was just really, really supported. And I feel like I have a couple friends of mine that they really they identify themselves as perfectionists, which is such an interesting concept. You know, I have totally let that go. In fact, in this I almost called it my woman's group, but it's this group that I'm in on Monday nights, and we read literature, and it's been going on now since COVID started, and it was our way to kind of like get together and meet up and on Monday nights, and we would do like these Zoom calls. And one night we were talking about perfectionism, and one of my friends said something in the group about, I just think that perfectionism is such a crap term. She was like, you know, there is no such thing as being perfect. She was like, so when people identify themselves and say I'm a perfectionist, basically what they're saying is, I never meet my own expectations. And I was like, do you ever have those moments, those aha moments? I was like, oh my God. Because I have referred to myself at times as a perfectionist. And I was like, that is so true. Like, if you identify as a perfectionist, right? But there is literally no perfect score ever, right? And us trying to be the best versions of ourselves on a daily basis, we're going to fall short of that all the time. How we're going to make mistakes? I make mistakes on a daily basis, right? And then I look at those mistakes and I try to review them and say to myself, you know what, did I make the right choice? Did I not make the right choice? Maybe I should have done something different. What can I learn from this in the future? That's just who I try to be, right? So there is no level of perfect. So if you say I'm a perfectionist, you're going to fall short of that, right? You're going to always fall short of that, which means that you're going to always be unhappy because you're never going to reach where you want to reach, instead of saying, did I do my best? There are a lot of situations that I might have not done anywhere near perfect, but did I do my best? Absolutely, I did my best. You know, if you think about like a situation where you're with friends and you go do like an obstacle course, or, you know, like, I don't know, some fun kind of like arts thing or whatever. And, you know, like maybe you don't come out of there with the best picture or the best time on an obstacle course, but did you have fun? Did you do your best? Did you try your hardest? You know, like, I think that's what's important, you know? And then, you know, set that as a bar and try to do better the next time. And I think it's about the growth in us, you know, on a daily basis. Are we growing? Are we improving? Or are we stagnant, you know? And I want to continue to grow. I want to, you know, grow into a better version of myself each and every day. I think it's a great meditation. I think it's something to be reminded of, you know, and to let go of this strive or journey towards perfection, because you're never going to reach it, right? Which means if that's what you're wanting to do, then you're always going to be, you know, you're always going to be short of that. And if I'm always saying to myself, well, I did this, but like I didn't do what I could have done, then I'm always going to be unhappy with whatever my efforts are towards something. And that's just that. I think sometimes I would rather just look at a situation and say, you know what, I did do my best in this, you know? All right, let's read the meditation from, oh, ow, poked my eye with the glasses, with my glasses. Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart. You guys, I left my favorite pair of reading glasses in an Uber in Las Vegas. Either in the Uber or on top. I think I took them off and put them on top of the roof, but anyway. I was trying to check out on the phone, and because it was like this link that you could go check out, and so I like brought my reading glasses out. Then we got to the airport once the Uber had been gone, and I was like, I couldn't find them anywhere. They might still be in my backpack, but I don't think so. Okay. August 30th from Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. Let's see. Okay. August 30th. What would feel good to you? What do you want? What would feel good to you? Ask yourself that question often as you go through your day, as you live your life. When you don't know what to do next, when you're not sure how to find the path that's right for you, ask yourself what you want and what would feel good. That's how you'll discover what's right for you. What energizes you? Which friends feel good to be around? What work excites you, infuses you with passion? Which hobbies interest you? How do you want to spend your time? We have endured have to long enough. We have pushed ourselves through should too many times. There is a better and different way. Learn to recognize what lifts your spirits. Become conscious of not only what you do. Learn to recognize what lifts your spirits. Become conscious of not only what you need, but also what you want and like, what feels right to you. At first, doing what you want and what feels good to you may be uncomfortable, especially if you spent much of your life doing what doesn't feel good to you. Learn to be comfortable with the new energy. Learn to become comfortable choosing what energizes you. By following your heart, by following your passion, you will find your path and you will find joy. The possibilities for joy are limitless if we can do what feels good to us in work, in life, in love, in play. Learn to become comfortable with joy. You have the power to create joy by choosing what feels good to you. The time for joy isn't later. The time for joy is now. The time for joy is now. I love that meditation. You know, it's interesting because even if it's just as simple as something like wearing what you want to wear to work or just throughout the day, I think is like such a huge thing. And let me tell you how it like switched for me, okay? You know, we would have to go to, Alex and I, a lot of these, well, you know, and my exes, to a lot of these like event kind of things, you know, where it was like, you were supposed to wear something. And, you know, I was raised in this, and I don't know, this was one thing that my parents did believe, you know, was that you dress appropriately for things like, you know, if you're going to go here, you wear like a suit and tie, or if you're going to go here, you know what I mean? And I do think that there are moments for that. I think like, you know, if you go to a wedding, it says it's black tie and whatever. But it really, really took me a long time to, like, if we were going to an event, I would still look very, very nice, but I would wear like a jacket with a shirt and a tie and some really cool shoes because that's what was comfortable to me. Or maybe wearing something that was more colorful, you know, when typically I wear something that's like all darker colors, like black and blue, you know. And it was really over time that I just like had to get more comfortable in doing that and being like, I'm gonna wear what's comfortable to me. I'm gonna, and not going and looking sloppy, still looking nice, but going nice and dressing the way that I want to dress, you know? And today, I love when I go to things and it'll be like, black tie and listen, I love a good gown. I love a good dress. Okay. I love fashion. But it's fun when you go somewhere and you see somebody, like a woman that's wearing something that's not conventional, like maybe like a pantsuit or something. I mean, I love a good pantsuit. This is kind of corny, but you know what I mean? Like that one person that kind of stands out because their clothes match their soul. And I talk about that a lot over here, and I think it's really important to do those things that feel right in our soul, And there was so much of my life that I have spent trying to do, I grew up always being the wrong thing in the room. You know what I mean? Like, I was always the thing that was made fun of. I was always like, remember that Highlight magazine and in the back it was like, pick the one that doesn't fit? I was always the one that doesn't fit, or that, at least that's how I felt in a room. I was going to say made to feel, but no, that's how I felt. That's how I chose to feel based on what people said. And so I think that after that, I spent much of my life wanting to be the person that, and I struggle with this, like I do, like, when I was like working for a long time, I had really long hair, and I know people still find that hard to believe. I had like really long hair at one point, like down to here, and I wore it like either tucked behind my ears, or I typically, for work, I would wear it in a long ponytail, but sometimes I would just like pull it up with like a bun. This was way before men wore buns, and I would just like stick a pencil through it or whatever. And I remember my supervisor, she never said anything about it, but I remember one time she was like, like if you really want to be like, like people that take you more seriously, like if you cut your hair off, I think people would take you more seriously. And I was actually just talking about this when we were on vacation to Alex's cousin. And I can remember I got my hair cut really short and people started taking me more seriously. And that was like such a sign to me of like the way that society views you. Oh, we were talking about tattoos. That's what we were talking about, like hand tattoos and face tattoos, as far as like, people like won't, like, I can remember my dad said to me, get all the tattoos you want, get them on your face. I don't really care, but you might miss out on certain job opportunities. And I was saying that I hope in 2021 we aren't in the same position, that I hope in 2021, just because somebody has a tattoo, that doesn't keep them from being taken just as seriously in a boardroom or whatever. But the reality is I think that we have these like built-in ideas. And so for much of my life, I really tried to, meet up to that kind of societal standard of what it was. And then I just was like, I am like, every day that goes by is another day that I am losing, where I am not living to my full passion potential. I'm not being who I am inside, and I want to be who I am inside. I want to like express that, and through music and fashion, and my fashion's not that exciting, you know what I mean? But like if I want to wear this, I'll wear this. And if I want to wear, Crocs or, plastic Birkenstocks, or if I want to get real dressed up one day, because some days I just feel like getting really dressed up, Have you ever just woken up one day and you like, do your hair real nice and put on something really nice because that's how you're feeling that day? Well, that's how I want to, live my life. And so I think it's important, to live your life to what feels good to you. As long as you're not hurting other people, I think like that's important, to do the things in your life that aren't like, I mean, if I worked in an environment where they expected me to like, and I signed up and I was hired and I knew that this is what I had to wear, to a certain, then I would do that, and to some degree, and I hate saying this, but I am a rule follower. Back in the day, I loved thinking I was such an anarchist, but the reality is, I'm to some degree kind of a rule follower today, and I don't mind that. But I think it's also like, finding your passion and creativity within the lines to some degree. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think about those meditations in the comment section below. I love you guys, and draw outside the line too. And I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.